on the 15th. That's when I get my pay.
We get our pay.
Yours only goes away that way. Mine's the whole month, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
At least you get a break in between.
Yeah. Well, that is pretty funny, wasn't it? See, I'm always. People tell me I'm not funny, but it's like they always are laughing at my jokes.
I don't know, man.
You know, I tell everybody the secret to marriage is just making sure you learn 2 words while you're married, and that's yes, ma'am.
Dear. Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, dear.
Okay, how long have y'all been married?
15 years.
Wow.
Yep, and working together for 7, and she hasn't killed me yet. So.
15 years. 15 years married.
Mm-hmm.
Working together for 7, right?
Yes.
Okay, and how did you meet? I've never asked y'all that question.
Through a mutual friend.
Through a good friend of mine that was very close to her and very close to me, but had never met each other. That was the weirdest part about it. We actually lived 2 blocks away from each other and never met.
Wow.
And previously, before that, we lived 2 blocks away from each other.
When she was with her first husband.
So y'all have been
That close, huh?
We've always
Wow.
been real
circling
close.
each other and never actually met, and you probably passed each other many times
He
on
would
the
pass
street,
my
in the
house
grocery
every
store,
day.
and all of that. And
You know, like my best friend told her, she goes, "You don't know Jason?" And he's the one with the convertible Mustang over there, the loud cars. And she's like,
Never.
"No, I've never seen it." He's like, "He drives right by your house all the time." And she's like, "Never
Never.
seen him."
wow.
Never.
See, the convertible Mustang, he was the cool one. I'm sitting here in suspenders and an aqua Chevrolet Cavalier when she met me.
I country bumpkin drove an F-150. Never.
But you know the bad part about it, Bob?
What?
She wasn't impressed. Had 500 horses under the hood, just
Right.
jacked up.
She drove that.
Yeah.
She
She
wasn't impressed.
she had a GT50.
Yeah.
It cornered like it was on
Bob had
rails.
The
It was
Aqua Blue
good.
Cavalier, which is still kind of a mystery on, okay, it's fine if you're going to drive a Cavalier, but the Aqua Blue, I mean.
I wanted to fly under the radar so the cops didn't see me drive
That's a
too
good thing.
fast,
That's a
right?
good thing.
Otherwise, I would have been red or black.
Like
This
Myrna
is
tells me
rad.
I was a good flip. So she invested in me, dusted me off, and flipped me
Yeah.
into a good person. So.
That's pretty.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
exactly. Yeah, she'd say the same thing because she got me with suspenders, and I had, usually it was boots and a cowboy hat. Because I'm from small town Texas as well.
Yes.
And then I kind of cityfied myself and flipped a little bit. Still have the roots back home,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, we've lived here so long that
This
you
is
kind of
home
become
now.
Dallas. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, we're live, so we're ready to roll.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
do it.
Jason and Mirna Smith,
Yes, sir.
stop by. This is the 74th episode of the Bob Mortgage Jam Session.
Congratulations.
That's awesome.
Thank you, I appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
74 episodes. I mean, this it's really cool because for us, this jam session is all about just bringing people together, right? Some people we work with, some we don't. And it's not really about that. It's just about people that are in our lives that we feel like we have a really good connection with, that we want to find a way to help, right? And we use your brand right there. Hey guys, what's up? Our brand's over here.
Yes.
Our audiences to hopefully help showcase each other so that maybe there's a connection somewhere down the line where somebody calls me and says, man, thanks so much for introducing me to Jason and Mirna. They helped me out somehow, some way, right? That is what this show is all about. So I appreciate you guys stopping by.
I appreciate
Yeah.
the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, my gosh,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's talk about, you taught a class yesterday.
This was the Bob Mortgage Jam Session until now. Jennifer takes over.
I definitely want to talk about what you guys have going on.
Yes, ma'am.
And you've got tons of people that you're attracting. You've been in the business for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think you guys are just masters at connecting.
Yes.
And so I know you started teaching classes, and now they're like flocking to you
Yes.
for your knowledge, right?
Correct. And I mean, like I tell everybody, Jennifer and Bob, knowledge is power, but only if you apply it.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
The problem where I see with a lot of classes, there's so many agents that go to classes for lunch. Okay.
Yeah.
The lunch is awesome. Okay. I get it. We're hungry. All realtors need to eat.
They
But
do. implement
what you learn.
Right.
And
Use
that's
it.
my biggest desire. for
Speaking
agents.
about that really quick, hold on. Speaking of that, if you're an agent out there, lunch is important.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it'll be a sponsor that's buying the lunch, right? Which is
Correct.
cool, don't mind that. But if you're RSVPing, make sure you show up because that's what we buy
Exactly.
lunch off
That's
of
correct.
when you
Very good
RSVP,
point.
right? If you say 50, you're going to be there. we typically could use a 50% factor, so maybe 25 will show up.
Yes.
We really want 50 because we're going to buy lunch for probably 50,
Yes.
right? Because we never know.
Yeah,
So,
speaking of
okay,
lunch,
that's my little tidbit.
that's
Okay,
our
go ahead.
brand.
Yeah, that's my little rant.
And Bob, I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
We got a lot of first-time home buyers out there. Okay.
Uh-huh.
You just won an immaculate award, so congratulations on
Thank you.
Seth Gold Superstar right here. Number
I appreciate
one in
that.
DFW for Seth Gold. I mean,
Texas.
Texas.
Wow.
The whole
Yeah.
Texas.
So even bigger than DFW. So that
Yes.
tells you right there, you're working with the best. Tell
Wow,
us a little bit about Seth Gold. What is it?
He just turned the tables on you, man.
He
I
did,
love
man. He
it.
flipped the script. This is usually my opportunity to ask you stuff.
Yes, sir.
So Seth Gold Star is a down payment assistance grant program that the state of Texas provides us to be able to offer that if we're qualified originators, right? And there's about, I think there's 1,400 or 1,500 originators that are offering this particular loan program.
And you're number one in Texas?
Number one, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
they said top originator, right? So what that means is there are people out there that maybe don't have money like all saved up to be able to buy a house. Because I mean, it could maybe cost you $10, $12, $14, $20,000 to buy a home.
Yes, sir.
And there are a lot of people that can make the payment because they're already paying the rent.
Correct.
So they're already paying a mortgage. It's just not not theirs, right?
That's
Correct.
So what they just haven't had time to do is either save up the money, right? And so this is a program where we will approve the loan as normal, like a FHA, VA, USDA, conventional. We'll approve that loan,
Yes, sir.
and then we're able to cover their down payment, and in some cases, all their closing costs. So this is where we're getting people into homes for zero money out of pocket.
So you mean they can get money back at closing possibly?
They could get their earnest money back. So like when you guys write the contract, and you guys know this, you write the contract, you put up typically 1%, let's just
Right.
say, of the sales price as an earnest money. So let's say $200,000, you put up $2,000. I can pay for everything through that grant program to where they'll even get the $2,000 back that they put up for earnest money,
Awesome.
right?
So how hard
So-
is that loan to get done?
It's not. It's just like I would go through and approve, let's say, an FHA loan. The buyer does have to have a minimum credit score of 620 to qualify. I could do an FHA loan down to 530, but for Seth Gold Star, you have to have a 620 or higher. Okay. And as long as you're there, then I would approve that loan just like, let's say, normally on a conventional loan, 3% down conventional loan, and we could go get a 7% grant from the state. Okay.
Do they have to pay that back? Or it's a grant.
It's going to be, it's paid back over a period of time. So they have a 7-year forgiveness program and a 10-year forgiveness program. So it just means like the 7-year forgiveness program is going to be maybe an eighth of a point or a quarter point higher rate than the 10% forgiveness program, because they're saying every year that you live in the home, they forgive 1 year.
Okay.
So if
Okay.
you've lived in the home 6 years,
Then you only owe one.
you only owe one year back of that grant, so it's forgiven by that year.
That's pretty cool.
It's awesome, right? And that'll just come when you sell the home. But if you take the 7-year forgiveness program and you sell your home after the 7th year, you owe none of that money back.
Beautiful.
And I saw a deal on, TAR where they were saying the national average in Texas, most people move every 7 to 10 years.
7 to 10 years.
anyway.
Right, so that's
that
why-
worked perfect.
100%. We're putting, most people are liking the 7-year forgiveness program because they know they're probably going to be in it 7
They
years.
have equity.
They're going to have all this equity that's built up. So really, they're not paying anything
Right.
for it, right? They're just going to trade it when they sell their home. And when we do the analysis and we say, look, your options are this program or keep renting, there is no comparison because your net worth will remain flat.
Right.
Homeowners' net worths are going to be 45 times that greater of
Right.
a renter because of two things: appreciation that they're going
Right.
to pick up, right?
And they're
Natural
paying.
appreciation, and for savings, because every time they make a payment,
It
it goes towards a principal. Towards a principal balance, right?
That's awesome.
And so it's like a forced savings. When you make that rent payment,
You're paying 100% interest.
100% interest, and you get absolutely no benefit from it.
Zero.
You don't get any upside on the appreciation, and you definitely don't get any savings because all of it goes to
And the cost of
the
rent
owner.
always goes up.
Cost of rent's always going up. Yeah, you guys get it, but guys, out there's absolutely no question that programs like this can help you just change your life. I mean, it's a
Yes.
life changer for a lot of the people that we're putting into these programs because they're stuck. They feel like they're stuck and they have
They've
no
been told
hope.
to go other
Right.
places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So would you have a challenge for the audience out there just to give you a shot?
Here's what I'm going to tell you, and I'll be honest with you, man. You guys, and I know you guys are going to throw out your digits here in a second. You guys give Jason and Mirna a call. They are going to talk to you about opportunities that, like, wow, these are really opportunities for homes. They're going to get you directly to me, okay? You can always go to BobMortgage.com. You can give us a phone call at 214-631-5626, and we're going to take care of you and get that. But you guys go to Jason and Mirna because really I know what you're after is the home. They're going to set you up on a plan to get you the right home out there, but I'm going to be able to tell you how much you're going to qualify for, what your monthly payments are going to be, and show you that you can get into it for little to no money out of pocket. Okay. Now the cool thing about that program, and it really was an honor because, I mean, there's a lot of originators that offer it. To be at the top, it was really awesome because that just means we impacted so many people's lives,
yes.
right? But there are also other ones that are out there that we also do that do not require repayment.
Right.
Right. There are other grant programs that say, hey, we'll give you the money and you never have to repay that grant back.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, like when you sell your house in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it's cool. You don't have to pay the money back. And so for those programs, I'm going to tell you, we've taken individuals that have, $200,000 in the bank. Right, they got 200 grand in the bank and we've still put them on a grant loan. Why would we do that?
The money make better sense with them instead of the.
Dude, you're so smart. You're right on. The money, they had their money invested.
Right.
And if they were to pull it out, they were going to have a huge tax
Right.
consequence
That's
for pulling it out.
32% tax rate.
Right. And so then the next portion of my comment and questioning with that client was, how long do you plan on keeping the home?
Right.
It was only 18 months.
Oh, so it
Makes
doesn't make any
sense.
sense.
It didn't make any sense. So if you're only going to keep it 18 months and you're going to pay that much in taxes when you pull it out, let's go get you free money. It's a
Right.
little close to a $320,000 home. We got the max grant on that, covered their down payment and closing cost,
Wow.
kept their money invested, and then they don't have to pay it back when they sell it in 18 months. So it's not always, guys, about people that have no money.
It's just
Right.
not a box.
It's a
figuring out.
strategy that you can use these programs for just to impact people's lives and put them in a better loan.
So
Okay.
you would
Give them
say
a
you
better
definitely
life.
think outside of the box. You're not just a
I don't
regular-
have a box.
Exactly.
I don't play in a box.
And that's one of the problems I've seen. Not to downside any other lenders
No.
out there, but a lot of them, the banks make
Right.
them stay in a box,
Uh-huh.
and
Or they
that's
have a
something-
niche, like
Right.
they just want to serve this kind of buyer. And
That's what we see a lot is originators will say, I just serve a $400,000 buyer with a 700 credit score. And that's their deal. And that's
like
all.
me too.
Yeah,
Right?
we'll serve them.
I mean, but the reality is,
Right.
when you really are all about helping and educating and impacting lives, then you
Right.
can't turn that faucet off.
Precisely.
And you just have to put your content out there. You have to be willing to expose yourself to everybody, right? From an origination, from an education standpoint, and then help whoever's in front of you.
And that is our philosophy, is just to say yes as often as we possibly can to
Yeah.
That is mine too.
yes to the meeting, yes to the
Definitely.
connection, yes.
'Cause-
Even if it's a small thing, it doesn't always turn out to be.
Right, and you never know why they're in front of you or why you're in front of them in a conversation, phone call, meeting, one-on-one type deal. I mean, you may be impacting their life in a way that you weren't even intending it to be
right.
impacted just because you said yes and had that conversation.
That's right.
And once we figured that out, our kind of lives changed as well because it wasn't really about a particular outcome that we were going for. We weren't really just trying to get that deal or get that relationship. It was just really about the meeting, the listening, the understanding, just the conversation that comes with people that are willing to communicate that at that level. And then, it just works out the way it's supposed to work out.
Right.
That's right.
So, okay, back to you. I'm going to flip the script because this isn't my
I'm
show.
sorry. I'm proud of you. That's all.
well,
I can say.
thank
I'm
you.
very proud of you.
Thank you. Well, it's because of guys like you and your team and everything that you guys do for us
Yeah.
is the reason why we are number one. Because without you, we don't
We're
exist,
And vice
right?
versa. Without you, it
Without you guys
wouldn't be
approving the loans,
possible.
we don't need either.
Right.
So hey, it's a marriage.
Well,
You're married to me, Mr. Bob.
So tell me about, obviously your group, Legacy Elite Group, right?
Yes, sir.
and from a 30,000 foot view, because I want to get specifically, because y'all do real estate, but you also do so much mentoring. So tell me where you want to start first. You want to start on the legacy group, the legacy elite group, the mentoring and realtor building side, or you want to start focusing, kind of talking first about y'all's personal business? Where do you want to go with it first?
Go ahead, Money.
To me, it's my personal business.
Okay, let's talk about that.
The mentoring comes because we get, I guess, I would say agent attraction. They're like, well, we want to be like Jason Mirna. Where do we
Yep.
start? Well,
Okay.
it all has to do if you do a good job for someone.
Your passion.
It turns into a passion. It's not even a career. I mean, your passion has to be so big that it's not work. It just it's natural. It just
Okay.
flows out naturally, and naturally you'll attract. What Jason's niche is to recruit and motivate agents.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So when you get into, like, I know that there's a lot of things that you guys talk about with buyers, with sellers. I mean, what are you finding is the biggest challenge right now with the home buyers that are out there in this market space?
Finding the true why, I would say. Their
To me,
motivation.
I'm gonna say, how bad do you want this home?
Yeah.
You know, how bad? Because it's gonna be work. You know, you didn't. It's like losing
you're a
weight. You
perfect
didn't
home, that's
mess
work.
up your credit, or you didn't prepare correctly. Let's take the proper steps. So my biggest challenge is giving them the confidence. We can do it. It might not be in 30 days. It might be a year from now.
Sure.
But we'll get
Gonna
you
get
there.
it done.
I like that.
Trusting, trust. I have to have them trust me 100%. I know they've had bad experiences in the past or worked with another agent that didn't work the way I do.
Sure.
Just last night, I had that. I had an agent, I mean, never picked up my phone, couldn't get him to go show him, and you immediately jumped on it, sent me the app
Yep.
that you provided.
Yep.
And she started looking. She's already approved with
Would that be Katie?
That is Katie.
Oh, hey,
I-
Katie, shout out. Hopefully you're watching.
Hopefully.
You know, she's just requested a showing on a property.
I
Yep.
haven't looked
Okay,
at there
we just
today.
got we just got the notification before
I got
right
in
when you
front
walked
of her,
in.
and I told her, you have to communicate with Cameron. Cameron, my son as well, that's his client. You have to communicate with one of us.
Yeah.
I go, because I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what you're doing. Well, I don't know how to use the app. Come here, let me show you. I showed her what she had to do. Obviously, she did it.
Yep.
And
She found a house, she requested a showing, so
that's
bam,
awesome.
right there,
That's
right?
awesome.
So that's
and having
how.
the tools and having the partnerships to have those people trust us. Like, you
Yeah.
know, I edified you guys. I said, this is who you have to trust. Because without them, I can't do my job.
Right.
Yeah.
And communication is key.
Well, I think, yes, it is. And I think, let's go back to the first comment, which was the why. That's a big thing for us, is really uncovering their why for wanting to buy a home. Because that has to be greater than,
Sacrifice.
exactly, than everything that's over here. Because some people are going to be absolutely 100% ready. They're
Right.
credit ready, income ready, asset ready, or we have the grant program to take care of the assets, whatever it is. They're ready to go, and we're moving and we're closing these loans in 9, 10, 12, 30 days, right?
That's what your normal agent wants, the low-hanging fruit that's
Exactly.
just ready.
Which
to
is
me,
fine,
no.
they're there,
Yeah.
right? But then there
What
are
about
those,
the other buyers?
there are those that need a little bit more love.
That's correct.
Right,
And that's
they
where I
need-
step in.
They need the love. But you have to be getting that why, because if it's not bigger than what we have to break over here, which could be
Then you'll never
called
accomplish
habits or whatever, then you'll never accomplish it.
You know, one thing I like to add to people, you know, I had a client one time tell me, it's going to take me 6 months to get my credit together. And I said, and how long did it take you to mess it up? Well, I've had
Right.
bad credit all my life. I said, awesome, and you're 25 years old. So 25 years you spent destroying your credit, and I'm going to repair you in 6 months, and you think that's a long time. I said, how long have you been renting? 5 years. I said, interesting. So you're throwing away 5 years of your income, assets, everything, just because you don't want to take 6 months to fix the problem.
Yeah.
You follow me?
And sometimes they just don't have the patience. And,
The
Exactly.
patience or the confidence.
Right.
They're scared. I'm
Right.
like, why didn't you reach out to me? Because I'm embarrassed. I'm like, why? I go, those are
Don't
the
be.
type of files I want.
Right.
Come talk to me. I want the
Because
hard
those are the
files.
biggest testimonies.
Yeah.
Seriously, when we had a buyer, and I'm gonna send a shout out to somebody, Jose Escobedo. I love you to death. Myrna had him over 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Got him 2 different rentals or 3?
3.
3 different rentals. okay? They went through a bankruptcy, filed chapter, whatever it was, and went through a mess, okay? Mirna sat down and told him, if you trust me, listen to what I'm going to teach you. It was 2 years for his foreclosure to fall off, right? Well, Mirna still worked with him. They're living in their dream home now, a $270,000 home with a pool, when all they could afford at the beginning was just a rental. And those are the kind of stories, you know, people ask me, Bob, you know, what is my passion? Why do I do what I do? The God honest truth, Bob, it's not about the money. It's when people come to me and they say, thank you for giving me my own bedroom. Thank you for allowing my children to have a greater life than what I ever fathomed possible.
Sure.
And that's the true beauty of it.
We completely agree and on the same page with that. The money follows.
That's right.
If you help people.
If you're focused on helping more people reach their goals, you will reach yours.
Right.
And so that's you guys get it. That's a different and challenging thing for some to understand because they get into this focused on the money, right? And that's all they're really concerned about, and it becomes transactions.
Right.
And at the end of the day, right, instead of the people, and so you miss really the opportunity of impact and what that can multiply to your business, which obviously then multiplies the back end of that, which is the money. And so you have to really go at it in a different way. And it sounds like you've built that.
I mean, we're servers. We're service. We're serving people, and that's how I see it. I'm not a salesperson, and to this day, I say I don't sell. I serve people and do my job right. So.
You know, one of the guys on my team, Hector. You know, he was really nervous at one point because he's an ops guy, right? He's very technically sound type. He knows guidelines. He knows everything. And I felt it's like, you know, when you get the right person and you have them in the wrong position, you have to make a decision from a leadership standpoint to move that person to a different role.
Correct.
And that's what I had with Hector. I was like, dude, I'm not utilizing your talent at the level that it needs to be, and I need to get you into the right position.
Right.
Okay? But you're going to fear this position because you feel as if you're selling in the type of role that I have you in.
That's correct.
And we have to remove that mindset of what you feel it is and really make sure that you understand what you're doing. You're an educator. All you do is educate. You have all this knowledge. We just need to get it out in front. Yes, you're fine. In front to help more people. So let's just educate.
Right.
And by default, people do what?
Learn.
They buy. They learn, but they buy from you.
And they send you the referrals.
Right. And so when all that started to take shape, he started to see it. He's like, holy crap. He goes, I'm liking this. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to more people than I've ever talked to in my life, and I'm helping them along the path, right? And all of a sudden, business is starting to come in for him, and all of a sudden it just keeps coming. He's like, I love this now.
Right.
So once you change that mindset, you realize you're actually educating. People start buying. You're never selling.
It's kind of like that old saying that goes, you know, your mind is like a parachute. It only works when it's open. Okay?
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So,
Like that.
you know, so many people and the buying
You like that?
process,
You like that, Brandon?
You know, they get to the point where they're closed-minded. You know, it's kind of like being in a relationship, and that's what I tell a lot of people with our clients. We are in a relationship with them. It's kind of like if you have a person that says, you know, you can't do this. You're, you know, not good enough to do this, whatever. They've been beat up by society for so long that they believe it, you know? You know, she works with a lot of Hispanic clientele that get taken advantage of.
Right.
But people making the wrong
historically.
choices. So.
Yeah.
You know, and for us, it's hard because when you find a client like that, you have to win them back, you know? So, like, my advice that I tell a lot of the realtors out there, be transparent, you know? Don't ever get to the point where you think you're too good to help somebody, you know? And that's one of the things, believe it or not, that is out there, and it shouldn't be. Your job, when you took your oath as a realtor, is to love, help, share knowledge, and help everybody. Not only help 800 credit scores, $500,000 buyers,
Right.
and walk around with a Louis Vuitton all day and say, hey, I'm the
Hey,
best thing
I'm
that
a-
walked on water.
I don't want to agree with that, but okay.
She was a Louis.
Shout out to
And,
Louis.
you know, seriously,
That just means you're helping. That just means you're helping more.
It's about,
people.
giving
Yeah.
back. And, and one of our biggest mentors, that I followed and well as Mona for years, and she was kind of been our coach. We've read her book backwards and forward, is Abby Halliday.
Yeah.
Okay. I loved her quote, I never worked a day in my life, but I did real estate every day.
That's beautiful.
And I love it because her whole deal was, it's not work, it's my passion. I'm giving to people.
Yeah.
So that right there, when people ask me and Myrna, why do you work so hard? We're not working. We're having fun. We're blessing people, and it's our passion. There's no other way to describe it.
Yeah.
What gets you up at 9 a.m. in the morning and push you to bed at 9 at night, 6 days a week? Your passion, your fire, your desire to see people's lives change. There's nothing in the world that's greater than that.
Yeah.
That's
Totally
truly
agree.
not.
Very true.
Yep.
Agree.
Uh,
And that's how, honestly how we've sort of, approached the real estate community. I mean, back, 22 years ago when we first started, got in business, we'd pass out flyers and bringing donuts to the office meeting, and it was, sales, knocking on doors. And,
Right.
now we feel like, we educate. And instead of doing a lot of those things, we share our knowledge, and then people, buy in because of the trust. It's a totally different approach. It's much more comfortable, and we also, utilize, our 22 years of experience to be able to share that. I mean, we owe that to them.
And then another thing, that a lot of realtors don't do that should do is partner with the lender. And what I mean by partner, you're already a lender, okay? You're already number one in Texas, okay? But how awesome is it when you get a lender that can come to a builder or a realtor that come to you with a builder and say, hey, Bob, I actually do a $1,500 rebate from my commission to that client. Is there anything you can kind of help them with to make sure that they're
Yep.
getting the best value on that home?
Yep.
So,
It's the difference between being a partner and a vendor.
right.
Right.
Right? I mean, that just, it rubs me wrong. Like, when people say, hey, this is my vendor, I'm like, oh, that's what I am. Wow. I'm a vendor.
Like, I love you too.
Awesome.
We're
Yeah. That
partners.
makes me
Yeah.
feel good. No, I mean, we all strive for that. I mean, it's, for both of us, in all of our relationships, we strive to be in a relationship and a partnership
And
with
this is our
those
family
people.
business.
Yeah.
We approach it differently. It's a long play. We're in it for the long term. And, deals are nice to get, but really we're after the partnership. And I think
Right.
you're exactly right. That is one of the biggest missing elements, I think, that realtors really miss on is allowing themselves to truly partner with a lender.
Right. Because one of the biggest pet peeves I get out there, especially talking to agents, because we talk to thousands of agents a month, and the attitude out there is, well, they owe me. The title companies owe me. The lenders owe me. Nobody owes you anything. First of all, we're all in this together.
Right.
Because without a title company, we don't get paid. You don't get paid.
Right.
Okay. So they're just as important in the transaction as everybody else. But I see a lot of successful real estate agents, that could triple their business, okay, by just being humble. And that's sad.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen realtors that do 30 and 40 million that could be in the 70 to 80 million if they would change one small aspect and give love.
Give love.
Yeah.
Okay?
I like
Wow.
that.
Love conquers
For our Valentine
For our
monthly
February.
There you go.
jam sessions,
You even
you know,
There
give
we go.
love.
But give love. I mean, seriously. How many times have you had a realtor come by and grab you guys and take y'all to lunch?
Well, first off, I never leave the office, so I don't really get out for lunch.
Bring lunch in.
Bring lunch in.
Or bring
Oh,
something to you guys?
I mean, it happens,
Very vaguely,
very,
right?
very rarely. I mean, and for me, it's more about them taking care of the team because that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah,
But
unsung heroes,
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
very, very rare.
But it would be appreciated, right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
what I tell
yeah.
everybody is the whole secret to a relationship and a partnership and a marriage is never letting that person feel undervalued. Okay?
Yep.
So whether it be your lender, your title company, we do a lot of pop buys, okay? people ask us, what are pop-bys? And I'm like, that's something you should do all the time. Stop in, hey, I don't need anything. I just want to say thank you, good job for everything you do.
Yep.
Here's a bottle of nice
It
wine.
goes a long way.
Yeah.
You know? And that relationship goes a long way.
It does. It goes a long way. And I'll tell you what I would want more than the bottle of wine is the pop by with the communication, which was the second part that you had said, because that's the thing that we need, we want, we have to have, because it's great when partnerships exist when there's communication around the things that are going well.
Correct.
But what really takes you to another level with your partnership is when things are a bit of a challenge and they're still willing to do the pop by to come in and talk through it to find out, hey, what do we need to tweak? How can we make this better?
Correct.
That's when you know you're in a solid relationship and a solid partnership, because there's that level of openness and communication that says, hey, I can say, hey, Jason, I'm getting this feedback from the clients. This is what they're doing. This is what I think you need to kind of look at or maybe think about.
Hold us accountable for
Right,
it.
but you're going to do the same thing to me, and then at
Exactly.
the end of the day, guess who wins?
Everybody.
Everybody and the client
At the end of
wins
the day,
because we
that's our
become
goal.
better. But what
Right.
happens most of the time, okay, is that partnership that you think you're in is superficial because you're in it and it's only good because it's good.
For the
But
transaction.
any time that there's something that could be a challenge, which we all know that there's so many things that are going
Real
on,
estate, so many
right?
moving pieces.
right? And it maybe isn't anything. It could just be the buyer,
Right.
or the seller that ends up being the challenge. But if it's reflected negatively on you or us, well, let's say it's us, that person's willing to just exit the relationship so easy because there's 50,000 of us that do what we do, right? They could just exit the relationship and go find somebody else.
Precisely.
And that is, I think, the biggest challenge is there's not that level of trust and communication that can exist. And so that's what we would rather, that's what we always strive for, to get.
It's like a brotherly love.
You guys are
know, like I
amazing,
tell
so-
people, you know, if you've ever had brothers and sisters, I've never have, but
Yeah.
I've had lots of cousins that are like brothers and sisters. So with me, brothers and sisters fight.
Yeah.
They make up.
Yep.
And then they forget about it and move on, and then they're close again, right?
Yeah.
Real estate is no different. You're gonna bump heads with your realtors. You're gonna bump heads with clients. It's normal.
Uh-huh.
If you didn't, you wouldn't be human.
Right.
Okay? So there's no such thing as perfect. Okay? But as a team, where everybody communicates together and works as one, you're perfect. It's kind of like a marriage, you know?
Yeah, it's just
when
like
you
that.
get married,
Mm-hmm.
God says you're as one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And that means you're as one, you're giving her your paycheck, and you're okay with that. But still, you know. But seriously, you're as one. So our team has to be as one.
Mm-hmm.
My face on that magazine is just as important as yours, as
Mhm.
well as the whole network.
Mhm.
Okay? When you drive together, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Okay? And
I love that.
That's the biggest secret to winning is promoting everybody. You know, it's not, you know, if I do 30 million this year, okay? It's not because I did 30 million. It's because we
Yeah.
did 30 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And that's where I feel real estate had gotten lost in transparency. You know, it's not about the volume. It's not about the numbers. I mean, you could do 100 million. What did it take to get there? That's what people want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, writing volume is not easy and it's not hard, but it's something you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Where everybody comes to us in the network, you are asking about the network. Where people come to us in the network, the first question I ask them is, why do you even want to join EXP? Why do you want to do real estate? To make money. And I tell them straight up, you're in the wrong profession.
Mm.
And they're like, what do you mean? I said, until you understand what real estate truly is, you're never going to make money.
Yeah.
I said, real estate is an algorithm for people to come in and actually be blessed by your knowledge to help get them out of a situation that they don't want anymore. So you're a problem solver.
Mm-hmm.
I said, once you realize you're a problem solver, the money will chase you.
Yeah.
I said, you need to base your knowledge in real estate about how much knowledge do I have to uncover different problems and solutions that
Oh, I like
nobody
that.
else knows about. Okay? For example, T-Shack, MCC
TDH,
credits.
yeah, MCC credits, all that
all
stuff. Yep.
those. Having a lender that understands that
Mm-hmm.
is truly important to your business because there's so many lenders that get in. You know, you've been in the business how long, Bob?
22 years.
20-something
22 years.
22 years. So here's the cool part about it. I know for a fact, just by sitting down talking to you for 10 minutes, what type of loan officer you are. Okay? And you can tell. I hate to say it like that. I don't mean to put down any other lender, but you can tell by the conversations of, hey, I got a buyer in this situation. What can we do? If that lender can't spit it out in 10 minutes and say, hey, let's try this or let's do this and think outside the box and get it done, they're losing.
Well, and I appreciate that. I'll tell you another reason why we are as successful as we are in this business is because when they buy into BobMortgage, they buy into Team BobMortgage, right? So that goes back to your comment about the team. If I know I can't know 100% of everything, right? I know a lot, but I have people back here that can know as equally as much, if not more, about certain things, so that when I may question it or need somebody to help me fill in the gap, I go to my team. So I have an underwriter that exists on my team, right? When I need something, if I need to go deep into thought or into a type of loan, man, I'll throw out the 30,000 foot view. She runs the traps on all the things in the weeds, and then we come back with a solution for that client. Because it may sound good on the 30,000 foot view, but when you get into the weeds, the underwriting, the guidelines of everything, you're like, oh, well, we could have got caught on this trap door. I'm glad we flushed it out. Let's go down a different direction. And so that's why you have to have people around you that exist in your office, on your team, that are always on the front lines talking to you guys and your clients. I mean, it's huge for us to just be, Team BobMortgage. I can, we can be the face of it to bring it in, but you gotta have people that help you execute.
That's right.
One thing we've worked on together, people ask, how do you work as husband and wife?
Yeah. Yep.
Which I love that question, don't you?
I do.
Get it all the time.
And it's something, a lot of people don't understand, okay? And it's nasty. I tell everybody, it's nasty. It's not sexy at all, okay? But here's the thing about it. When you can be real with yourself, that's truly what it comes down to as a team leader, okay? You have to be real with yourself, okay? You got to realize, I don't have it all together. I'm not perfect, okay? And that's where so many agents do not want to admit, okay? Me being one of them, I hated to say, I'm not perfect, I was like, I can do sales, I can do marketing, I can sell ice to Eskimo, but I'm unorganized as all outdoors, okay? And I'm double booking left and right. You follow me?
I do.
And Myrna was like, that's your weakness. So the whole thing is, when you become a team, a partnership, a family, you understand what your strengths are and what their strengths are and whose weaknesses are in each one.
Sure.
Okay? Together, you beat those weaknesses.
Absolutely.
And you don't have any more. Okay?
100%.
So as a team, what I try to teach people, like we started doing the masterminds.
Okay.
Everybody's expecting me to speak on every mastermind. Guess what? I'm flipping it on. Okay? I did the first one. Somebody else is stepping up to do the second one.
Good.
Okay? Myrna, I'm going to be mean to her, but I love her.
Oh,
she don't like
being mean.
She don't like to do a lot of public speaking.
Right.
Well, guess what? She's training on SkySlope next month. Okay?
Okay.
For the whole network. Okay? So the whole thing is getting them out of their comfort zone.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Exactly. You have
You
to.
do it so often, it becomes comfortable.
Something I hate. I hate doing paperwork, and I hate doing, the contractor side.
Yeah.
When it takes me 30 minutes to do a contract from front to close, it takes her 2.
Right.
Okay? So it's very easy as a husband for me to just say, no, baby, that's your job. You do it. But what it comes down to is it's not her job, and it's not my job. It's our job. And you got to come to that agreement with each other.
Absolutely.
Well, and I mean, you probably could speak. I'll let you speak on the working with the husband-wife. How does that work?
Well, you know what? I have to say it continuously evolves, and it's better now than I think it ever was 22 years ago. I think we were successful at it. It was great, but we struggled over just stupid stuff. There wasn't trust maybe in
Competitive.
The little things,
Competitiveness.
yeah.
Yeah.
And or trust that he was gonna, do what he said he was gonna do, or whatever. I don't know what it was, but we definitely butted heads a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And not that we don't now, but we pretty much stay in our lane. And there's
Right.
definitely things that I'm not good at,
Mhm.
that he excels at, and vice versa. And we always kid
Right.
around like I'm party in the front, he's business in the back. And, I'm the connector, the one out there, shaking hands and kissing babies, and that's what I love. That's, I think, my highest, best use.
Right.
And I think that you can do that, but you feel better putting it together, putting the loans together, running the team, running the office. And that, if you walked in my office, you would just be like, oh my God, what's going on in there? But if you asked me for, a receipt from
But you know where everything's at.
2016,
Yeah, where's that?
it's right here,
Like magically, it appears underneath 5 pieces of documents and a
But you know
book
where
and
it's
everything.
at.
I know
What?
it just doesn't look all spit shine like his stuff,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
But I do think it has evolved, and it's better now than it has ever
Well,
been, I think, working together.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is defining the roles and trusting
Correct.
Trusting.
and verifying.
Exactly.
Correct.
So there's the trust and verify piece, and there's the definition of the role. And so it's not so much your job or my job.
Right.
It's just really an understanding of what your role is to our audience and what my role is.
Right.
And then how do we go out there and support each other and maximize it, right? Because I want it to be, I do want there to be a defined break in roles, because if it's too much of a gray area, then that leaves open for leakage.
Right.
And she could say, well, I thought you had it. I could say, well, I thought you had it. I like defined roles, breaks. That's yours. This is mine. It's not that I'm passing off.
Right.
But again, it's what we would say, maybe it's my weakness. Great. I shouldn't have to do anything that I'm weak at. I want to focus on everything that I'm
That you're
strong
good at.
and
Right.
make that better, and let somebody else that's their strength, take it on, because it's going to be better than what I'll ever make it,
Right.
because I won't
You
focus
meet
on it.
in the middle.
Yeah, and then it just worked. But then there's that other part of trust and verify. Because when you
let
have
go.
that break and you have those defined roles, I have to trust she's doing it.
That's
She has to
right.
trust that I'm on this side doing it. But then we can meet, whether it's daily, weekly, bi-weekly, whatever you want to do, to verify things are moving along that train track basically at the same rate and path
Right.
that we want to go down. And I think that's been the biggest opportunities that we've grown in over the 22 years that we've been married
Have
and
to
working
grow
together.
into it.
And you would say that even goes with your team, right? Like my team,
They're all, yeah.
the network, I tell them all the time, they're like, we're coming to you for knowledge. And I laugh. I'm like, you want to know a big secret about a network? And they're like, what? I'm like, you're going to teach me something.
Right?
Yep.
And a lot of them, being new, they say, well, how is that? You can learn something from anybody.
Sure.
My dad used to say all the time, the day you stop learning is the day you die. And that is very, very true. You should
Brandon,
be learning every day.
He's full of quotes over here, man. I mean, we may be able to take one of these quotes. I'll put it up there, but then we'll have to give Jason credit for the quote, because I really like that parachute one, dude. I mean,
That
you know,
was really good. I just
yeah.
texted that to somebody.
you did. Oh, you got to give him credit for it, though. But it's going to go up on the deal. But we'll have Jason in there
There you go.
because he's the one that said it. But I like that. So yeah, it's really good.
And you got to be. I mean,
So tell me about the network. So let's kind of talk about that a bit.
sure.
EXP.
Right.
Okay. I mean, I don't know who all knows about it. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. Y'all are one of the top in agent growth.
Yes.
You have the ability where agents are really shareholders of the company, which is something you can touch on, because that's a big piece to creating financial independence. I guess let's say that, because most in the real estate world, I guess, don't have that. But why the network? What is that about? How do people benefit from that, and how do they get in contact with you to learn about it, if you don't mind?
My biggest heartstring, I would put, is I'm tired of taking money out of agent pockets. Okay.
Okay.
Especially if they're already struggling. A lot of agents by the time we get them. Okay.
Okay.
So the only time an agent makes a move to any company is when they're in financial difficulty.
Okay.
Okay. And that typically with lending, same way, right?
Right.
So here's the thing. How do you fix the broken problem? And that's what we've really, prayed about, and really asked God to give us the direction. Which
Okay.
way do we need to go?
Okay.
So when I came across EXP, I mean, we've been with a ton of great brokerages. You know,
All of them have been great.
all of our brokers we love and give the most
Yes.
respect to because they've actually taught us to put us through the trenches to where we are now.
Okay.
So I don't ever leave that, unanswered. They were part of our success, and I'll always give them credit for that.
Always.
But when it comes down to it, I ask myself, we used to have a big team, and I was taking a 20% split or a 30% split off of each one of them. Well, what it came down to is, am I truly providing value to their family? Okay? With the network, the cool thing about it is I'm taking nothing out of their pockets. It comes to me from EXP for teaching them, okay? So granted, it's not, 20% of the transaction, 30% of the transaction. It's a small fee of 3.5% to 4% per transaction, right? Here's the cool part about it. $300 don't sound like much, right? But if I can teach that agent to write 40 deals times 300, it adds up.
It adds up, sure.
Okay, so that's when I saw the big picture.
Okay.
I said, I finally have an opportunity to teach these agents to be top producers, help their family, and not take out of their mouth,
Sure.
and still build my wealth at the same time by helping them.
I like that.
So it was something, when it hit me like a ton of bricks. It really did, Bob. I was like, I found it, I said, if you're writing over 20 transactions a year, typically you're going to be at 100% anywhere you go.
Right.
Okay? So I was like, okay, 100% is great, whether I'm with,
XYZ.
XYZ,
Right, exactly.
whatever
Yeah.
company. Okay,
Yep.
100% is good. It can be the big K, it can be the big J, whoever.
Sure.
Okay? All of them are at 100%. What makes EXP truly unique is the rev share program. Now, it is not a profit share. Most companies do, okay, whatever my profit centers do, we're going to give you a portion split with 500 agents.
Sure.
Okay? This is truly a rev share.
Okay.
So no matter what the company does, you still get paid your revenue
So
share.
top line revenue.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it comes right off the top. No questions asked. Okay? So when I sat down and looked at that, I said, okay, I can be at 100%. So we're still going to write real estate because that's our job. Okay? First and foremost. You got to produce. Okay? But I looked at it, and it really hit home with me last year. And I'll kind of tell you a little story about that. She got lupus last year. Okay? And we could have doubled our volume. I mean, we still did very successful
Sure.
with 20 million.
Right.
But I looked at it, we could have probably about 30 to 40. But with her being sick, I lost it.
Sure.
You follow me?
Yep.
I was like a lost puppy. I'm not even gonna lie. That's my rock. Okay. So when it came down to it, I said, what if we had a second stream of income that would have replaced that? So when I found EXP, I said, thank God. What if one of us gets sick and we have $25,000 a month in revenue coming in every month, whether we sleep or wake up? And the cool part about that, it was willable, sellable, and transferable to our children.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so it's kind of like having a life insurance policy, if you will.
Sure.
Now, the other thing was stock. So when I really started breaking it down, I said, okay, so you're telling me we have an icon agent. And what that basically means is once you reach a certain level in EXP, you get 100%. Now, most of your companies out there are all going to charge you the same, $21,000, $15,000 a year to be in business, right? So when EXP, I was looking at it, apples to apples, it's $21,000, right? But once you cap, they give you $16,000 back in stock.
Okay.
So I did the
give it
simple
back to
math.
you.
I said, well, 16 minus 21 is 5,000. So my true operating expenses
Was
for
5K.
business was $5,000.
But then
There's
you
not
get-
a company out there that touches that.
No, but then you're getting the 16K in a stock that
it's gonna
was
grow.
a penny stock at one time. That's how it
Correct.
started out. Now,
And they just rang the NASDAQ bell last week.
yeah, now it's
So-
yeah. So that's okay.
And it's not for everybody. I
Right.
mean, how do they do that? They manage to do that because there's no brick and mortar. There's no offices, and some agents need an office
Sure.
to go in there and sit down. But then you have partners like yourself that can
Have
provide that
offices
for
we
us.
can use.
Because if I'm in here working, I get leads or whatever, I'm already here next to you. And
Yep.
I got a deal.
Yep.
And the same thing,
We
all
like
our
it.
partners, we haven't had really anybody say, no, you can't come use our office. I've got my title agents that have been generous, because same deal, you know,
Yeah.
I get a listing here's a contract, go ahead, give it to you, and that's happened. I've had a listing contract that I got the night before. I happened to be with my title agent. Shout out to Terry Quick. And I said, hey, by the way, I've got this contract right now. Let me just go ahead and give it to you.
Yeah.
Being at the right place at the right time. So,
Yeah.
and that helps us because we're more efficient, faster. You know, I'm not hanging on to, you know, a client before. Let me go email my mortgage lender. Let me go email my title partner.
Sure.
You're here.
You're
we're
here.
So,
Yeah.
but it's not for everybody.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I mean, I and this is why I think there's such a big connection with you guys and us is, I mean, it's just always about impacting other people.
Correct.
If it's agents you're speaking about, it's how am I impacting their life? You talked about Mirna and how it was impacting you guys and what you could potentially bring to the table with additional revenue streams.
Right.
All that is about just impact, opportunity. It's about helping. And I love that. I mean, obviously, I know where you are with it from the buyer standpoint. I mean,
yeah.
that's your passion and how you, I guess, go to those types of levels to really take care of them, nurture them,
Yes.
make sure that they're making the right decisions and going down the path to homeownership. I mean,
Right.
that's a unique skill set, and you have to have that, I guess, in you, right,
Oh,
to
yes.
want to go through that process with them, because
Yes.
most are going to be handout, open and empty, saying, hey, I need a deal, I want the deal, I need the deal, and then, you know, they're just all transaction based.
And then reciprocal business is very important. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so many times, you know, you'll get lenders, and I love you guys for the way y'all work. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
are straight, transparent, and I love that. If I give you a deal, you'll give me one here and there if you
Mm-hmm.
have one.
Yep.
Okay, what I look at is this a marriage, you know? Like I said, if I scratch your back, you're gonna scratch mine. Okay? One of the biggest pet peeves I have with lenders that have never worked with you at all, they sign you up for stuff and say, hey, use me and let me earn your business. But they're not respecting the fact that, okay, we already wrote this $20 million. I don't need you for that. I have my lenders in place for that. How do you help me get to $40 million? That's what you're
What
willing to be
value are
asking.
you
Yeah,
bringing?
the value proposition.
Yes.
And that's,
Yeah.
that's the value. If I could say anything to, you know, different partnerships out there,
Uh-huh.
come with a solution to their business to help them grow. You know, that was the first thing that
Yeah.
attracted me to you guys.
It's all growth. I mean,
You
look,
know.
It's growth.
I completely agree, and that's the way we measure our success is the impact we have on our partner's life.
Right.
Right? So we're always trying to solve that equation, right? Is impact. Some need us just for what we do great, educate, communicate, and execute. They need that part of our mortgage business, right? Others need growth, meaning how do I get more eyeballs on my brand so that I can get more business? I mean, that's a different need that has to be solved.
Correct.
And
This
so-
video is a prime example.
This is the way of the
Absolutely.
future.
I need more, so you're helping me.
Right,
Get
and
the
so
word out there.
thank you. And so that's what we look at is okay, because each one's going to be different.
Right.
But it's our job. We feel if we're in a partnership, a relationship with our partners, is what's our value? It's not.
Right.
I mean, mortgages is our job. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to already exceed expectations.
Right.
That's my commitment, right? It isn't. I don't need you to tell me that. That's what we do every day is exceed
Right.
expectations of clients, right, regarding their mortgage. So I look at that as just cost of doing business. Now, how do we impact your life,
Right.
Right.
right? And that's the
That's
the fun parts of what we get into. But
And then I talked about a fun thing yesterday about co-branding. Okay. The funniest thing, you know, you see every agent out there, whatever firm they're with, they have the firm name huge, but they don't have their personal logo anywhere.
yeah,
Okay. And I touched yesterday on a training that we're doing. I said everything you see is going to have a legacy logo on there. I said it has EXP, but
Sure.
it also has our legacy. And the reason why is you're branding yourself. And my kind of comment that I made to them was, if you go to McDonald's, okay, do you ever get a fries without a McDonald's signature on there? It'll never happen, right?
right,
Because they're so used to having their brand everywhere. You can be in China and see the Golden Arch and know it's
Sure.
McDonald's. You can be in New Zealand, same thing. They've got their brand. Where so many agents forget, it's not about the company you're with. Okay? And that's one thing that I really broke down yesterday in my training. People do not buy your company. They buy you.
Correct. And I'll say this to piggyback on that is you have to have the company that buys into
You.
that,
Right.
right? That type of branding and marketing because McDonald's, look, they don't have 10,000 real estate agents, you know,
Right.
that are out there support. I mean, they have their franchises, right? But it's all bought into that.
Right.
EXP buys into you as an individual because
That's right.
the consumer buys into you, not EXP.
Correct.
Those two have to be on the same page.
Yes.
With EXP has to say, look, it is all about Legacy Elite Group. We are the backbone, the support of you guys, but let's
Correct.
go market that. I'm blessed because I have a company, Wallach and Volk, that buys in that same type of philosophy because all my branding is Bob Mortgage, but it does have Wallach and Volk on there,
course, and they
right?
should.
Absolutely, you know, they should.
They're your partner.
They're my partner in this. But it's important for that individual agent to understand the importance of a personal brand and
Right.
what it means to be
It's huge.
a mayor socially of their communities that they're serving and why you have right here 4 or 5 cameras now rolling just on this little jam session that we're going to do. Because what we're going to be able to take is this micro or this macro content, which is an hour long now, and break it down into
And that happens really easy with
it
Jason.
happens quick.
Talk for an hour.
Individual, you know, 1 minute pieces because there's so much wisdom that you guys dropped
Right.
in here that we're going to be able to cut that up and get it to you guys so that you can remarket that
Awesome.
out there to
Yeah.
your group. But I really, I mean, you guys got so much going on from Legacy Elite Group from the network standpoint with what EXP offers you guys and then obviously what you guys do individually. We're so blessed and thankful to be part of that and be able to help the clients. I mean, it just fits and it works really, really well. Give everybody, I know everybody on that camera is going to know, with the other 4 or 5 cameras out there that don't know who you guys are from, so how to get in contact with you.
Sure.
Phone numbers, website, whatever you want, let everybody know that so we can capture that as well.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, Mirna Smith, and my number is 817-317-1206. Hablo español, solo que toda mi familia, clientes que necesitan asistencia. Bob también tiene un lender que habla en español, un prestamista, y estamos listos para ayudarle.
All right, guys, and I'm Jason Smith. You can reach me directly at 817-333-4509, or you can reach us at www.legacyeliteGroup.exprealty.com and look for houses on our website. I'm going to turn it back to Bob. I want him to give a shout out to everybody, but also give you his personal information. Love this guy, love his wife for everything they do. Powerful, powerful, powerful lenders here, guys. Check them out. Go ahead, Bob.
Oh, mine's simple, BobMortgage.com. You get everything right there, man. You want to search me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter.
LinkedIn.
Everything. Just go to Bob Mortgage and you'll find me everywhere. And it's really all about the content that we put out, guys, to help our agent partners become better at what they do, to help potential home buyers understand how easy it is to buy a home. And then we do a lot of things from a entrepreneurial standpoint, working with your spouse. You'll see a lot of motivational type things there. That's just because for us, it's not always just about mortgage. It's really about connecting with you guys. And on that, we certainly appreciate you guys giving us your eyes and ears today for this 74th jam session. I so appreciate it. I know it was great because of them. But if you didn't like any of it, it's probably because of me. So just let me know, and I'll do better the next time. But please share it,
Yes,
thumbs up, all that fun stuff. But thanks so much, and go out there and make somebody else's day even better
Correct.
today. Take care.
Make it count.
Thanks, guys.
Thank